Hey, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Rayge, and we are back today finally to start off here the next stage of Dark Dimension 7 being the Cosmic section. As you see on screen here, this is my Cosmic team, and man, I am excited to utilize them and get them started here, just because 3 out of the 5 characters I already brought into my arena team, especially with them being part of that Annihilators team. But we always knew that we were going to bring in Val and Kang being the other strong options at the very start of Dark Dimension 7 when it released. The only thing I would say for this team is that there was quite a bit of that osmium pinch there. Now, is Val ultimately needed? In my honest opinion, probably not, but you know, having the synergy of these characters, if you're able to afford it, is going to be extremely powerful, especially at this time right now. Night Stalkers is not fully released yet, so that's why I opted to bring in a character like Val, because you know, she can synergize extremely well with Thanos Endgame with the exposure, generating energy for the team. But overall, I do feel like in the future sometime, if there is going to be any reworks or touch-ups, Val's going to have love, especially being an original Strike Force character. So without further ado, let's get into it, guys. Let's see how this team does with the Cosmic section. I've heard only good things about the Cosmic nodes, so now that we're done and past the global section, we can actually get started with this. I think this is going to be a lot funner to deal with. All right, let's get to it. They say after we wrap up global, the Cosmic, Legendary, and Mythic sections are not bad at all, especially now that we've gone through the first part of Dark Dimension 7, and as well the global section. So how it starts off here, guys, is there's a lot of characters that have charges that we need to be mindful of. There's not much you can do to get through the Black Knight taunt. You're gonna have to just deal with it. There's also a lot of zombie jugs. Now the cool thing is we have Gore the God Butcher here using his ability, and he actually strips away all those charges from the enemies, so very, very meaningful. Then I'm opting to use the ability block there on the left side, because we're able to add an ability block to those enemies base. But you also notice Black Knight's also got exposure now, so anytime we use a character that has exposure against them, it's going to generate ability energy for our team. We also did the same thing with Endgame Thanos on that zombie jugs to the right as well, so we're looking pretty good. I think this is where, you know, they say having both Val and Thanos Endgame is probably going to be overkill, because not only can Val bring back, you know, characters from the dead, but we're also going to be able to take advantage of the exposure and generate ability energy for ourselves too. So this is where I love Gladiator. He's able to soak up a lot of damage for us with his on-spawn taunt, but as well he can provide some support now too. So you see, he's just soaking it up, and remember, it doesn't really matter what happens. If anything does happen, we have Val's revive, so I think definitely focus on Black Knight. He's a very important character to aim for, just because if he gets charges, he can hit quite hard. And love the ultimate there from Thanos. And again, you can just see all the ability energy. We're getting a retaliation attacks with Gore. So I'm definitely just seeing the synergy of how well this team is going to be already. 4 out of the 31 enemies already taken care of, and we just started this off. These enemies don't seem to have big health pools, which is good for us. Next up here, there is a wave of these Ghost Riders that you want to be aiming for. So I opted to just use Kang's ultimate just to finish him off. Be mindful of the fact that if you do that, the Ghost Riders are going to retaliate, and that actually finished off, unfortunately, my side. But we can bring him back now, obviously, with the ultimate there. Boom. So Kang's back, and he's good to go. And then once again, now we're just getting our abilities back up and getting the taunt on Gladiator, because he's going to keep on protecting our team, and we've taken care of the Ghost Riders now. And keep in mind, guys, we're already at 21 out of 31 enemies. So true to what folks have said, the Cosmic does seem to be a lot more smooth. These enemies that we're up against do seem to be quite a bit weaker. Lower HP pools. And also, remember, we have really good synergy too, which helps immensely. So if you're able to leave a Scarlet Witch around from the I think it was Quicksilver that summoned her, it's okay, just leave her around. It's easier just to not have to deal with her, and also she's not going to be able to do much damage anyways. Thankfully, this Lady Deathstrike did not get reworked in the node, but you know, she's definitely one of the better characters now in the game, especially with Orcus, the Ray team. So we are able to fully clear this wave at 17 out of 31 enemies. That's going to spawn the next group here. A couple of big time Spider-Mans. We got Emma Frost, Deathpool, Gwenom, as well as Phyla-Vell. So just be mindful of that. I think using an ability block on the left side makes the most sense, just because we can stop Invisible Woman from using her cleanse. And also, you know, those big time Spider-Mans can hit like a truck too. So just stopping them so that way they don't get that turn 1 advantage is pretty big. Watch for that. I don't think it's a deal breaker if you can't do it, but it just helped us mitigate a lot of damage by doing so. And thankfully now we're back to the full cooldowns here with Gore. So a couple things you can do, right? Remember, he has an ability block that's pretty useful. There's a couple of cleansers on this, so you can either focus Emma Frost or Phyla-Vell, in my honest opinion. Whomever, you know, maybe has the higher turn meter, in this case Emma Frost. And it did land, which is good. Then we go ahead, we do our normal drill here with Gladiator, being able to hit everyone for the AoE damage. And once again, because we're hitting an exposed target on zombie jugs, we're gaining energy once again. So you can see how straightforward this is now. We're basically rinsing and repeating with our abilities. And be mindful of now Endgame Thanos having all his abilities. He can use the special, land the stun, and crowd control again. So this team is just really good at generating ability energy, at controlling. We don't even need to use our abilities. We can save them, which is pretty meaningful. And remember to always try and target an enemy that does have the exposure. You know, characters like Phyla-Vell and Zombie Jugs right now can give us that chance here to actually build up again. Yeah, and everyone's just following slowly but surely. 15 out of 31, so we're already half done the node, and you can see we're in a really healthy position right now with our team. So again, I'm aiming for the exposed targets. Let's finish off these big times here. You'll see at 14 out of 31, it's going to spawn the next wave, and there's going to be another Black Knight. So again, we made sure that our cooldowns are always in good spots, so we activated the special ability there, getting that mass AoE ability block on everyone around Black Knight. And thankfully, I don't think he came with charges, which is nice, so we're going to go ahead. We're just going to target him. Again, with the exposure, it gives us energy once again, right? So, interesting they added Gwenum. I don't think there's any other Hive Mind characters there, so we're just going to go ahead. We're going to use Thanos' ultimate here just to clean up. You know, adds the debuffs. And then, like I said, we're not really in any danger because of the fact that we're just doing so much damage. And once again, I think this is, anytime you see a Black Knight, if you have a Kang ultimate available, it's a great time to do it. Now, the one thing to be mindful of is, once again, there's more Ghost Riders that spawn. They look similar too, by the way, so be mindful which one's Robbie and which one's the actual Ghost Rider. And funny enough, our endgame Thanos actually procced his passive ability there, so you can see now we're getting the retaliation attacks from Ghost Rider. So not ideal, but you know, it would have been nice to keep him for this very last wave, because that's what it is. But these Ghost Riders end up being the ones that take us out, so just something to be mindful of there. Obviously, we can still use our abilities here to the best. Try to clear the charges, which we do. And at this point, you know, it's completely up to you. If someone falls here in the final wave, it's 6 out of 31 enemies. I don't know if it's worth to use Val's Revive, because keep in mind too, it's a very heavy cooldown ability. So if you do opt to use it, just be mindful that you have to build that energy back up. So sometimes it's easier just to continue on and just use either Power Cores or the next daily refresh to actually regenerate. But for myself here, I'm feeling good about the exposure. I'm feeling good of how we can generate ability energy. So I go ahead. I actually use the ultimate there to bring back Andy and Thanos. And we're just going to take it as is, right? It's okay that Thanos is low HP because remember, when we start off a match, we have Gladiator actually protecting the team as well. So if anything, you can do a quick heal as well if the match ends. But you can see I was getting worried because he already had 2 bleeds there. And then they're just doing work. And once again, I'm thankful that Gladiator does do a lot of the damage soaking here. But yeah, 4 out of 31 enemies left. You're gonna be remaining with these. There's a lot of zombie jugs in these nodes, but that's okay. They thankfully don't seem to be doing a lot of damage here. It's more so just blocking us with their taunts and so forth and getting through them. So at this point, yeah, you know, same game plan as any of my Dark Dimension video guides, which is make sure you preserve your energy. You can see I was okay in using Val's ultimate because I saw that I still had a really close special ability that, as you can see right there, we're only 1 turn away. Boom, that allows us to generate a little bit of ability energy. And yeah, endgame Thanos is a little bit on the unhealthy side, but we start off with abilities likely, and even if he falls, we can probably bring him back with some sort of revive in the next round anyway. So that looks good. That node is finally complete, guys, and again, this is actually really awesome to see. But yeah, it's a one-shot. This team is just so good. It's a one-shot, and I'm curious now where I do stack up in the rankings, but pretty happy. This is fun to play. It's going to feel very smooth if you have the Annihilators as well. So I'm just glad that I waited for them and building them up, because we're getting value in Arena, and now they're paying dividends even back in Dark Dimension, and they're just so good. They're just so good overall. So top 5,000-6,000 right now, guys, free to play. So hopefully this is helpful. Thank you for your time as always, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.